Hello everyone, it's Cameron and welcome to another video. Today we're finally going to do another vinyl update. This is vinyl update 50. Now this will pick up from where the last vinyl update was, which was from my finds up till September. Now I'm going to carry on from September till November, and I'll do my other finds at another video. So yeah, these are all the stuff I've generally acquired since the last vinyl update that I did, or the period after that vinyl update was done. Lots of CDs to show, not as much vinyl, but still we've got some good stuff to show. So we'll start with the CDs. Now a lot of these came from my charity shop in Salkett. These are all Jean-Michel Jarre CDs. First one up is Equinox 1978 album. I had it in CD years ago, but I don't know what happened to it, but this is a replacement copy. Oxygen 7 to 13, same for this album. Replacement copy. A lot of my CDs I kind of years ago would often replace the casings of years ago if one broke of another CD, so yeah, probably not the wisest thing to do, but you know. Then we get Jean-Michel Jarre Odyssey Through O2. This is like a remix album, I think, from '98. Yeah, quite interesting. Waiting for Cousteau, 1990 album. I've had it on vinyl as well. Same with Equinox. I've had both this and Equinox on vinyl over the years. These two I'd never had before, so they're first time in the collection. They're Jean-Michel Jarre Electronica and Electronica 2. This is quite a funny CD actually, because the spine should be normally facing that side, but the spine's at this side. It's kind of a funny design, this CD. I'm not sure if it's meant to be like that or whether it's a misprint, I'm not sure. But still, good to have this one. And here's the second one. So yeah, really good to find these quite cheap. I got this at the record shop in Salkett. Paul McCartney Wings, the Band on the Run 25th Anniversary CD edition. This has the first CD with the original album, and then a second CD of some unreleased versions of Band on the Run tracks, and even some voices from some of the celebrities who appear on the cover as well. So there's people like, there's Michael Parkinson there, and some other famous faces as well, I think, as well as Paul and Linda. You get a nice sort of big thick booklet with it, and the poster like the original vinyl. There's 2 CDs. I also picked up the 2010 deluxe version of Band on the Run, the archive edition, but I've put it down somewhere and I can't find it at the moment. But I put it down somewhere. I had it a few minutes ago, but I can't seem to. I put it down somewhere and I can't figure out where it's been put. But if I find it, I'll show it for the next vinyl update, definitely. Here's some online CDs. This is the Everly Brothers from Nashville to Hollywood, Rare, and unreleased recordings from 1961 to 1963. From 2005, this album. Some of the alternate takes from the Warner Brothers archives, which is quite cool. Because there was a big Bear Family box set around about this time. We had loads of Warner Brothers outtakes, but that's really expensive, it's difficult to get a hold of. But still, really good to have that one. And here's Rock and Soul, the Everly Brothers. I actually did have a digital copy of the Bear Family box sets, but my hard drive I've kept them on recently crashed, so I've now lost those albums, sadly. But you know, it's the way it is, I guess. Here's Rock and Soul and Beat and Soul. I have both of these on vinyl, so really good to get the CD of these. It'd be nice if they did like a box set of the Warner Brothers albums from 1960 up to 1970, then put in a disc of the B-side and single songs, then the new album, which was the unreleased songs, and then a CD of Warner's outtakes. That'd be a great box set that I hope they do one day. These next few I got online, and they're all from the same artist. And this is a link to another artist. She's married to one of my favourite rock musicians, and that is Patti Scialfa, who's of course a member of the E Street Band and Bruce Springsteen's wife. Really, really good album. Really enjoyed this one. This is her first one, Rumble Doll from 1993. Really good album. This one. Yeah, really good album. Produced by Mike Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Another one of my favourite acts. I also got her other 2 albums as well. This is 23rd Street Lullaby from 2004. Another really good album. This one has a bonus limited edition disc of live version of live songs from the 2 from mostly Rumble Doll, I think, As Long As You Can Be. I don't know about that one. Or is it meant to be As Long As I Can Be With You, and Spanish Dancer, and also the live version of the title song, 23rd Street Lullaby. Yeah, really good album. And the third one I also got is her 2007 one, Play It As It Lays. Another quite really good album. So yeah, all three of these are really good. And I've heard she's done a fourth one. Hopefully that'll come out sometime soon. These all came from my record shop in Salkits. Bob Dylan's Shot of Love. Have this in vinyl. Nice to get it in CD. I already had this album on CD, but this is a special limited edition of Love and Theft from 2001, and it comes with a bonus disc of 2 extra tracks, which are When I Was Young When I Left Home, an unreleased 1961 track, and an alternate version of The Times They Are Changing, which is quite cool. Then we get Good As I Have Been to You. Again, I have this one on vinyl. Nice to get the CD. Oh. A few of these came from FOP when I went there recently during one of my recent days when I was up in Glasgow on my radio broadcasting course. Here's Elvis Presley, Jailhouse Rock and Love Me Tender, released in 1997. It's got a nice cover. And I've got a few live CDs, couple live CDs. One of which these two I bought, and I also bought this box set in the same day during one of my visits. The first one was The Who live at Shea Stadium, 1982. This is from their what was supposed to be their farewell tour, but it wasn't. 1982. I've got the DVD of this concert, but nice to really get the audio on a release, which is good. Here's the Rolling Stones live at the Wiltern from 2002 from their Lex 40th anniversary tour. You get a Blu-ray as well with this, which is nice. Really great. I've been really getting into a lot of these Rolling Stones live CD and Blu-rays, and I hope to pick up more of these. I have a couple of the live archives on DVD, and I'd like to get the CDs of them as well, the CD and the DVD editions, or even Blu-ray editions maybe, you never know. This box set I picked up on the same day, Elvis Presley The Searcher. I had the standard edition of this one, but it's nice to get the kind of deluxe box set edition with some bonus songs from the film, and there's a third disc of other artists' songs, but you get a version of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers song, the version of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers singing Wooden Heart, which is quite nice, which is one of the playback box set that I've got of theirs. You get the original versions of some of Elvis's songs, as well as on that third disc, so that's quite nice. It's quite a good documentary from this one, The Searcher. I've got it on DVD. It's a good watch. And they all kind of look like film reels, these discs, which is quite nice. The thing is, you have to dig your fingers into this middle one to get it out. Out. And that third one as well. So yeah, nice little box set, and you even get a booklet as well, which is a nice lot of information and just nice pictures, some of which I don't think I've seen before, like that one. Well, actually, I have seen that one. That was in the back of the 68 comeback special. I'll try and find another photo that I don't think I've seen. Yeah, nice little box set. Came out in 2018. Actually, in between some of these, I picked up 2 box sets on eBay. First one up is the Everly Brothers Heartaches and Harmonies box set. This is an American release from 1994 on Rhino. Quite good, like, long box. These are all the Everly songs in here. There's some hits and there's some unreleased versions of songs and unreleased songs as well, which is nice. Just take the lid off the box. You get a nice big thick booklet. This is one I might do a video on its just on its own. This box set. So do stay tuned for that. And you get information about Phil and Don, line notes from Phil and Don talking about each of the tracks, and it talks about each of the tracks as well. I'll just show you an example of one of the CDs. There's CD 3. So yeah, a nice little, nice big box there. And again, I hope to do a video on this one sometime on my channel. So yeah, quite good. Here's an upgrade of Bruce Springsteen's Tracks box set. Already had this from my mum and dad's copy, but the discs were scratched. But nice to get an upgrade of this one. But I'll still keep my mum and dad's other copy as well because you know it's theirs and it was for free. And I probably wouldn't get rid of it. So yeah, there's that. These two came from the Record Shop and Sockets again from a different visit. Adios Speedwagon, Best Foot Forward. Had this in vinyl for ages, but wanted to get it on CD, so I did. My first Adios Speedwagon album actually was this album on vinyl. So yeah, nice one. Then we get Wilco Johnson and Roger Daltrey Going Back Home from 2014. This is an album I knew of from years ago, but I'd never picked it up until now. I'm kind of starting to slowly and surely get a lot of things I've been missing from my collection. Albums that I kind of knew of at the time, but I didn't really get. I think I bought this from the library and I copied it to digital, but I never really listened to it now. But yet to listen to it, but I'll definitely do it at some point. And what's quite interesting, they do a version of the Bob Dylan song "Can You Please Call Out of Your Window." I think the rest are original songs. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's quite a nice cover as well. You get like a different photos of Wilco and Roger in their earlier days. Got this on Amazon. I pre-ordered it. It's the John Lennon Power to the People live album with the remixed 1972 Madison Square Garden concert. This is just the highlights version of both the afternoon and evening performances. Hope to get the 2 CD versions of it at some point, but still nice to have this one. And of course, this is now coming out as a film in the theatre, in the cinemas for a limited release. I hope to see it in cinemas if it's showing kind of near me at some point. But yeah, still really nice to finally have that one. And these all came from Glasgow, and I went there on my last day of the course when I went to get my certificates. Here's Bob Dylan's Saved. Got this one out of Missing. 1980 album. And Infidels. These both came from Missing. This is this is like it's a super audio CD, but I think it still plays on regular CD players as well. And I know I copied it to computer, and it still managed to work. So yeah, quite an interesting one there. These all came from FOP. The Rolling Stones, Welcome to Shepherd's Bush. Another 2024 release from the 1999 concert at London's Shepherd's Bush Empire. CD and Blu-ray as well, so yeah. Here's Jean-Michel Jarre live in Notre Dame VR. This is the virtual reality concert he did for like the Notre Dame thing. You get the CD and Blu-ray, which is quite cool. The artwork's really, really cool here. Quite like that front cover. Back, that's a really cool design there. The Rolling Stones, A Bigger Bang live on Copacabana Beach in Brazil from 2006 in the Bigger Bang tour. Again, 2 CDs and Blu-ray. I think portions of this show were previously released on the Bigger Flex box set, which is like concerts from the Bigger Bang tour. So yeah, quite nice to have that one here. Here's Elton John, Diamonds. This is the 3 CD edition. I had the 2 CD edition, but it's nice to get the 3 disc edition with some bonus tracks. So yeah, really, really nice to have that one. Kind of wish they kept the blue cover, because I quite like that blue cover design, because this is now red, but still, hey ho. And here's Oasis, Nebworth, 1996. I've had the DVD of this for ages of both the 2 shows, and we get a CD, and this is the CD edition, so nice to get hold of that one. I think this is like the mix of the 2 shows, both the Saturday and Friday and the Saturday and Sunday shows. I think it's a mix of both shows, so yeah, quite nice. We get a little mix of that. These 2 came off Amazon. Elton John, Madman Across the Water, and Honky Chateau. Both of these are the anniversary editions. I'm kind of starting to get all these deluxe editions and anniversaries. I went for a phase of doing that, and I'll hopefully kind of continue to do that at some point. It's on the DGM. We have nice reproduction of the DGM labels. It comes with a nice big thick booklet as well, with all sorts of information, pictures. Honky Chateau, 1972 originally. Again, this is the anniversary edition. with some demos and a live concert from the Royal Festival Hall in London. This one has some like demo versions of songs, single versions. So yeah, quite nice that one here. Again, we get a nice sort of thick booklet. Again, it's on the DJM label. I got this at Chai Shop in Salkits, Fleetwood Mac, 50 Years Don't Stop. I quite like Fleetwood Mac. They're not one of my favourite bands, but this greatest hits CD will just about do it for me. 3-disc set of all throughout their whole career, really, from the early days of with Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, right up to 2013. So yeah, quite nice. We get some representation of their whole career up to that point. So, yeah. Got this on Amazon as well. Elton John, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. Again, the anniversary edition from last year. This has some demos and some live recordings from 2005 on the Peachtree Road tour, which is nice that because Elton, the American leg of that tour coincided with the 30th anniversary of Captain Fantastic. So in some shows, Elton performed, I think, the album in its entirety or parts of the album in its entirety. And I think this one comes from the show in Atlanta in 2005, so that's quite nice that they threw that one on there. And then last CD is Bob Dylan, the Whitmark Demos, the Bootleg Series Volume 9, 1962 to 64. Some very early demo recordings of Bob. I do quite like these bootleg series, and I hope to get some of the others. The most recent one was really expensive, Volume 18. I would love to have got it, but it was quite pricey for me, so I'll probably get it at some point when the price is a wee bit affordable. There's been a lot of CDs lately that have been really, really expensive. Some of the newer releases are like really quite expensive, especially some of the double deluxe CDs, which, yeah. And I've got some DVD and Blu-rays to show. Here's The Real Buddy Holly Story. This is a 2004 release, but it's a 1985 BBC documentary. This is an American DVD, but I think it does play. I've checked it, and it does play on regular DVD player. Jean-Michel Jarre, Solidarnosc Live from 2005 concert. You get the DVD and the highlight CD, which is quite cool. One I've been looking for a long while, but never found it for a reasonable price until now, so yeah. And I've got another Buddy Holly DVD Critics DVD, which I'm just going to get and show them now. There it is. Okay. Got it. Here it is. Buddy Holly and the Critics Definitive Story, narrated by Paul Gambaccini. I had a recording this one on my Skybox, but I got rid of it when I got this. So yeah, and even a CD as well. Quite a nice DVD there. And I've got a Blu-ray of Jean-Michel Jarre live in Bratislava with special guest Brian May, who of course the guitarist of Queen. Quite a really nice Blu-ray there. This is with like a live stream concert, which was I think shown live streamed over the internet, over online I think, and they've now released it as a Blu-ray. And it's all come out as a CD as well, which I hope to get at some point. As the CD edition. It's always nice to have both sound and visual, both DVD and Blu-ray. So that's kind of it for the CDs. Now I'm going to show you my 45 singles. I got this out of Missing, Morris Albert and Feelings. I actually quite like that song. 1975 on Decca, and Come to My Life. Cilla Black, You're My World, and Suffer Now I Must on Parlophone, 1964. Got this out of a little shop in Govan where my radio course was. I can't remember the name of it, but it was quite a nice shop. I'll probably remember it at some point. Ringo Starr, Weight of the World, and After All These Years from the Time Takes Time album, 1992. It's quite difficult to get hold of on vinyl, but nice to have the little 45 single from the album. Got this out of a charity shop. Pink Floyd, See Emily Play, the very early hit, The Scarecrow. Not much of a Pink Floyd fan, but I do quite like that song. I also bought recently somewhere a copy of Chicago's If You Leave Me Now single. I had it in my collection somewhere, and I don't know what's happened to it, but my 45s are kind of all over the place, and I've looked for it, and I can't find it anywhere. I know I've got it somewhere, but if I don't find it, then I'll probably pick up another copy from somewhere. Anyway, Chris Montez and Let's Dance, and You're the One. These both came from the Shop Sockets. Dusty Springfield, I Only Want to Be With You, on Phillips, and Once Upon a Time, 1963. Same for these ones. In the Midnight Hour, Wilson Pickett, and I'm Not Tired, on Atlantic. Again, not a fan of this artist, but I do like the song. David Bowie, Space Oddity, and Wild Eyed Boy from Free Cloud. Guitar Man, Elvis Presley, found this one out of Missing, and High Heeled Sneakers. The Hollies, I found this in a charity shop in Irvine. Bus Stop, and Don't Run and Hide. Free Orbs, things I found on eBay. These are really rare, so these are really, really cool. Crawling Back to If You Can't Say Something Nice, 1965 on London. Heartache and Sugar Man. This is a really rare one. I once found a copy of this in a record shop in Walthamstow in London on holiday there, but it was like £8. It was a promo copy, but I found this a lot less on eBay. It's a generic copy, but still. Break My Mind by Roy Orbison and the Art Movement. Backed with How Do You Start Over. Love that B-side song, How Do You Start Over. Okay, so now I'm going to go over the albums, and there's not a lot to show, but I'll go over them quite quickly. So this album might be just a one-in-one video instead of two, which is quite nice. Here's Bobby Goldsborough Gold. Got this in a charity shop. Quite like some of his songs. I know he's quite, he could be quite, there's the song Honey, and comes across as depressed and miserable, but I quite like some of his songs. You often get kind of slacked off a wee bit from me, but I like his songs. There's the hits here: Honey, See the Funny Little Clown, Hello Summertime, Autumn of My Life, Summer the First Time. So there's some quite nice songs in here, I must admit. I haven't yet heard the whole album, but I've heard wee bits and pieces from like on the radio. It's on K-Tel, and it's a Canadian pressing. Got this one online. I got the CD. This is my last final update, but I wanted to get it on vinyl, so I did. Benmont Tench, The Melancholy Season from 2025 last year. Really great album. Really great album. Really loved listening to this album. It was probably the best album of 25 for me. The title track, Not Enough, If She Knew, I Will Not Follow You Down, Under the Starlight, Wobbles, The Driving Man, Dallas. Just a really good album. And it's on the Dark Horse label, much like the CD was on George Harrison's label, which is cool. This next artist I found at the charity shop at a different time, and I know I have her songs on a couple of 45 singles, but again, the hits, they'll do me. Best is Cilla Black. Don't mind her, but again, as I said, the greatest hits do me fine. This is quite a nice copy though, but this is an original mono from the 60s, 68, this one was, which is mono by 68 was kind of on the way out a bit. Was beginning to get phased out. It was sort of stereo that was taken over. To find a mono copy of this album is pretty good. And it's on yellow Parlophone as well. So yeah, I got that for a nice price. So check it in, getting to sleep. So there we are. Found this on Amazon. I've got the original pressing and I've got this on CD, but want to get the LP version. It's the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers Long After Dark Deluxe Edition. Bonus material, the original album remixed and remastered with the bonus material. Also, it takes in unreleased songs, which is nice that they threw that on. They reproduced the artwork quite well. Get gatefolds, and the inner sleeves. The design of the album is very similar to the original. Maybe a few kind of modern. They're probably. Yeah, in the inner sleeves you get these quite nice like photo collages. The lyrics, like the original album, on the original sleeve. Cause I've got the original pressing, and I still keep my original pressings, of course. And here's the other inner. And these are all quite nicely reproduced. These is what they look like, much like the original vinyl did. Except I think that background was black instead of silver. So there's that one. Okay, next time I got a charity shop in Govan before my course one day. Elvis Presley's 20 Greatest Hits Volume 1. This is the first half of the 40 Greatest Hits album, on like the arcade label and later released by RCA. Doesn't have an inner sleeve. I probably should get more inner sleeves. And then we get Charlie Pride Golden Collection, country artist, and some of his songs have been requested on my radio show. So yeah, I kind of got these his greatest hits with K-Tel. Again, this one doesn't have an inner sleeve yet. I probably should give it into the inner sleeves and probably get more inner sleeves and stuff like. Oh, these are in the wrong. Got this at a charity shop in Salkirk. Never seen it before, but it's got a nice cover, so I thought I might as well. Del Shannon's Greatest Hits. This is a Belgium album. Some interest. There's some an interesting cover, and the track listing was quite interesting, so I thought might as well get it. I mean, I know it's just standard hits, but they put on Jody and The Answer to Everything, which are both B-side songs, but they're both great, and they don't often appear on compilation albums, which is quite nice. And it's on this BR music label. So yeah, it's a foreign import, but still nice to find that. These came from the Sockers, that came from the Sockers charity shop. Trouble, Whitesnake, the first album. This one is a reissue with a different cover, but still nice to have a copy of the first album, which is one I've probably needed to get for some point on vinyl. I now have all the available. Well, no, not quite. I still have to get things like the Forevermore reissue on vinyl, and the reissue of Beats Bad if that was ever done. I know Flesh and Blood's quite difficult to get on vinyl, but I have it on CD. So I kind of almost have Whitesnake's albums in some form, LP and CD. Between the two, I think I have everything. But I would like to get like the box sets of some of the albums as well. I know recently I forgot to show that box set, which I'll probably show. I showed it when I unboxed it when I got it, but I'll probably show it again just now while we're here. The Stuff of the Town box set, 30th anniversary edition. These are great, these little box sets. I've also got the Slide It In box as well. I'd like to get some of the other box sets, like the 1987 one, which is very difficult, but the Forevermore and Restless Hearts and Good to Be Bad box sets as well, which I should quite like to get hold of. There's a little program book. And these are all like the CDs. So they have some unreleased material, like the some outtakes, well, alternate versions, and different mixes. The Live at Donington concert, which has been released already, but still, you know, I'd obviously keep both versions of Donington 1990. So I'm a bit of a collector as well. I like to have a lot of different versions of things. Even though I realise they probably shouldn't, but still, you know. So yeah, forgot to show that one, but I'll show what I thought was on Whitesnake. Got this out of the shop in Saugus as well. Nils Lofgren in Wonderland. This is a US pressing. I can't remember if I bought this in my last final update, but I thought I'd show it anyway. Nils Lofgren, Wonderland, 1983 album. No Song Across the Tracks from the Code of the Road Live album. He also does a version of It's All Over Now, which is also a hit for the Rolling Stones. So we get quite a lot of my Nils Lofgren vinyls and CDs, which is quite cool. This is on Backstreet MCA, which was Tom Petty's label as well. From Damn the Torpedoes to Long After Dark. The inner sleeve's falling a bit. I probably need to get it another sleeve. Still nice to have that one. Getting a bit lighter out. I suppose I should have turned the lights off in here because I propped the light because it was still a bit grey out when I started filming, but trying to get a wee bit lighter, sunnier. So, but anyway, we'll carry on. This one I got in the shop in Messing Shop in Glasgow. Nils Lofgren, just called Nils. This has his big hit Shine Silently. There's the inner sleeve. It's on A&M. So I've also got quite a lot to get on Nils Lofgren, but I will eventually get there. And I got that at the shop about a week after I bought the Elvis Greatest Hits Volume 1, and I got Volume 2, the other half. So yeah, nice to have them. And this is a bit of an upgrade, but John Lennon's Walls and Bridges. My copy's a little worse for wear, seen better days. This is quite a nice copy with the book inside, and on the Apple label. Top needs a bit of sellotape, but still nice to have this album in a nice copy. And here's one I already have, but this is a different variant. This is the Beatles Rarities. The one I bought originally came from the Blue Box in 1978, and it had like a kind of gold thing at the corner saying only available, but something like not available separately. But this is the one that they brought out individually after that box set. All the kind of A's and B's of the Beatles, EP songs, and some of the songs that never appeared on the albums, so that's quite nice. On Parlophone. That came from the record shop as well, because I was put up a 12-inch of tougher than the rest, which I should have pulled out, but hey ho. I got this in a charity shop again. Electric Orchestra and Olivia Newton-John Xanadu. One of the ones I was needing to fill in the collection. I know it's there's 4 ELO songs on here, which are I'm Alive, The Fall, Don't Walk Away, All Over the World, and well, Xanadu is really ELO, Olivia Newton-John and Electric Orchestra. There's the inner sleeve. There's a picture of Jeff Lynne, and there's the ELO, and it's on this customized label. So yeah, I also need to get hold of Zoom by ELO, but that's difficult to get hold of in vinyl, but I've got it in the CD. But I kind of almost have all the ELO albums available on vinyl now with that. Here is Blonde on Blonde, Bob Dylan. I have an 80s repress on the kind of orange yellow CBS label, but this is an original stereo copy. What's cool about this one is it's got that picture. Now this picture of this woman was on the very early pressings of Blonde on Blonde, and then later she was taken out and replaced by a picture of Bob Dylan himself. So nice to have this original early pressing. I'll still keep both of the variants. It's on the orangey yellow, the original orange CBS label. Nice to have had it in mono, but stereo, I'll take stereo as well. Here's New Morning from 1970. One that, again, is looking to fill into the collection, so I did. And we're on the same CBS label. Now these next 4, one came from the record shop, but the other I bought on eBay. Well, 3 I bought on eBay. I've already shown this in my last video, but I'll show them again anyway. I'll just show them quite quick though. The rock and roll years, here's 1960 to 63. Again, I've done a video on this, so if you want to see me go over it in a bit more detail, just go back into that previous video. These 3 are on eBay. 56 to 59, 64 to 67, and 68 to 71. And then I've got these various box sets. I've had this one in a charity shop. The Golden Hit Parade from Reader's Digest. Quite a big, thick box. This has all the recordings from the 50s up to the 70s. So from the early 50s right to 73. So yeah, I always quite like getting these various box sets because you just get a lot of wide variety on them. But these are different pictures of like various different. I'm not sure how that's supposed to represent 50s for some reason. But there's some interesting songs on here. Cool. And it's on Reader's Digest. I think they're all probably the same. 60 to 61. So, yes, as I say, some interesting songs. Some good songs in here. 62 to 63. Uh, 64 to 65. Again, that's probably more like the era, that picture. So this one's 67 to 66, 66 to 67. '70 to 71, and then 72 to 73. So, yeah. I've also got another Reader's Digest box set on like the years of rock and roll from 1948 till 1964. So that's another quite interesting one there. I've got I think these are all the original recordings, definitely. I don't think these have been re-recorded. 75 Jukebox Classics, another box set I found in this. These two I got from the shop in the Saltcoats. And these are all just in plain white inner sleeves, but this is what the labels all look like. Another box I have is This Is Rock and Roll. 75 tracks from the 50s to the 80s. So yeah, again I think this is on the same label. Yeah. And the final record I have to show for the update is this one. The Blues Brothers, The Lost Recordings. Now, this is an online pre-order. Now, when this came out, it was initially announced with the Blues Brothers comic, and I wasn't going to get it because it was released with only the comic, and I didn't know if it was going to be released individually. But then I found out it was getting an individual release, and I pre-ordered it. It was a bit delayed. It was meant to come out in October. It didn't come out until the November. But yeah, really, really nice to have this one finally, a Blues Brothers release at last. Thing is with this one though, it's like a rehearsal tape. I think it's like a rehearsal tape before the Universal Amphitheatre shows where they opened for Steve Martin and recorded the Briefcase Full of Blues albums, because the whole album is pretty much Briefcase Full of Blues in addition to the B-side of Soul Mine, Excusez-moi mon chéri, and Green Onions. But that was done on Made in America album instead. The quality-wise, it's okay. The sound quality-wise is fine. It sounded as if though it was recorded on a boombox cassette recorder with like the microphone in the whole of the room, of like the rehearsal room, and it kind of sounds a bit kind of distant and hard to hear. Well, not really distant, but you can hear it. But it almost sounds as if they're quite playing further back at some points of the recording, and it's also a bit hissy as well. A bit kind of the hiss is kind of muffle them a little bit, but still it's not bad. But the cool thing about this one is that it's on blue vinyl. It goes with like Blues Brothers on blue vinyl. I know they put the soundtrack album of the 1980 film on blue vinyl as well. I kind of hope to do a video of all my Blues Brothers collection at some point, and I definitely intend on doing that. And I might even do it in a Blues Brothers outfit, which will be probably quite cool to do. So that's really all for this final update. Hope you all enjoyed it. I know it's a bit quick, I know it's all in the one, but because I didn't have that many things, I just thought I'd do it in the one video. Next one I hope will be a bit longer and probably split into 2 parts at some point. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again for the next video.